At OPTAVIA, our mission is to offer the world lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. The following audio contains the personal testimonials of independent coaches and clients within the OPTAVIA community. Their results are based on the unique experiences of their journey. We cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. We hope these stories inspire you to continue your journey with or join OPTAVIA, but please note they have not been verified and your individual journey to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you speak with a healthcare provider in the U.S. or a doctor in Singapore and Hong Kong prior to beginning your journey with OPTAVIA. Additionally, this audio may contain income or earning representations of some independent OPTAVIA coaches. We cannot guarantee financial success. Success with OPTAVIA is derived from successful sales efforts, which require hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. OPTAVIA acknowledges that this audio may be accessible to OPTAVIA coaches in the U.S., Hong Kong, and Singapore. For independent OPTAVIA coaches operating in the U.S., please see the OPTAVIA Income Disclosure Statement for statistics on actual earnings of U.S. coaches under the U.S. Compensation Plan. Please note that the Income Disclosure Statement only applies to independent OPTAVIA coaches operating in the U.S. under the U.S. Compensation Plan and does not in any way constitute any representations as to actual or potential accrual of benefits for Hong Kong or Singapore coaches under the International Compensation Plan. Yours in health, the OPTAVIA team.
As we get into this, I would like to share our first guest. She is a close personal friend of mine and is an amazing woman and mother of boys. I'm going to let her tell her story, but today we have Amanda.
Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be here and share a little bit of my story. It's always such an honor to be here in front of you guys. And I hope that after you hear my story, you can really just take a step back and say, wow, if she could do it, I could do it, right? That's my goal, is that you would be able to see a little bit of yourself in my own story. So just really quick, I'm going to recap kind of what this journey has looked like for me. So thank you, Russ, so much for having me on. So 3 years ago, actually this month, it's my 3-year anniversary this month that I started the 5-in-1. And I had done everything in the past: keto, carb cycling, spin classes, you name it. I had just had my third son. I have right now, their ages 7, 5, and 4. So I have 3 boys. And if I had a nickel for every time someone said, wow, you have your hands full, I would be a millionaire. So at the time when I started 3 years ago, I had a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 1-year-old. So you can say I was overwhelmed. I was surviving, to say the least. And my body was a reflection of that. I was mentally, drowning. We had just moved to Bakersfield, California, and I was miserable in my own skin. I mean, I felt so uncomfortable. I didn't feel like myself. And in that same breath, it really affected even my marriage, and wanting to connect with my husband. So I was on Instagram sharing my grief and my weight loss journey, trying to get up at 5 a.m. to go to spin classes. Ever been there? Can you guys put a 1 in the chat if you've ever, gotten up at 5 a.m. to try to work off all the crap you just ate? Yeah, that was me. So anyways, look at all the ones in the chat. I think we've all been there. Thank God for 5-in-1 and that you don't need exercise to lose the weight. So just to speed it up a little bit, I got on the phone call with Chelsea Scarce, had my health assessment, cried on the phone call. I was so ready for change. And I did the 5-in-1. I just trusted my coach. I said, here we go. We really hardly had any money. We were very financially unstable at the time. And I just made it happen, y'all. I didn't care. I needed to make it happen, right? So I did it. I lost 40 pounds. I'm actually 45 pounds down now, have maintained, and it's just completely changed my life. My health went from it was a 180 shift, and I really believe that my mindset was really the key to maintaining. There's a lot of hard conversations Chelsea has had to have with me to really encourage me that this needs to be a lifestyle change instead of a diet, right? And I just want to say, when I started Plan, I was living in a 1,400 square foot apartment with 10 people. Okay. We just talked about surroundings. Let me tell you, I was not in a prime location or situation to do this, but I was so determined to not be miserable anymore. And it was a moment where I said, I need to take ownership of my life and my health, and I have to stop blaming everyone else for why I'm where I'm at. So you may feel like you're always stuck in this cycle, this blame cycle, or it's just too hard. I don't know where you're at, but just know if I could do it, you could do it. 3 kids, 4 and under, living in a 1,400 square foot apartment with 10 people. Let's go. You know, like you just have to have mind over matter and really figure out what your why is. And so then I became a coach, and coaching has also completely changed our life. Finances have been such a blessing, extra finances, but really beyond the extra income, the amount of people we have been able to impact just because I said yes to living out loud and sharing this gift has been monumental. You know, I have been able to, you know, just do so many things I could have never dreamed of, like send my kids to private school now. We live in California, and you know, it ain't cheap to live here, but now thank God, because of OPTAVIA, because of the meal plan that changed my health, and because of the gift of coaching, I'm here to say that, you know, this really is a vehicle to bring financial freedom and to also bring impact to the world. You know, that's really why I love coaching, because I want to impact people's lives. So that's my story, and I just want to leave you guys with this. You know, being overweight is hard and being healthy is hard, and you got to choose your hard. That was kind of my moment for me. And honestly, 5 and 1's not even hard, y'all. Your food shipped to your front door, and like I would, you know, you guys said earlier, just make sure that you are aware of your surroundings and make some changes, make some shifts, even live out loud in your own personal journey, and keep your eye on the prize. So thank you, Russ.
Wow, rock star, man. It's been such a privilege to be able to watch Amanda just go through this process, and it's really the whole entire reason why we do what we do. Now, kind of diving back, you know, when we look at obesity in the world today, it has tripled since 1975. Can you imagine that? If, you know, there was X amount of people 46 years ago, it has tripled since then. We totally understand why, right? With the food, lack of exercise, whatever it may be, but it is tripled. Now, when I was growing up as a kid, I always saw, you know, Africa and these countries where malnutrition was the problem, and things were happening to these children because of their health, and they were just not getting enough food. But the world right now is faced with overweight and obesity. It's killing more people than malnutrition and lack of food. So that's something that we really got to focus on, that almost a third of adults that have a partner, okay, a third of adults, 31%, say that they're reporting that money is definitely a source of conflict in the relationship. Okay, so that's one statistic. 69% of workers say that they're stressed over finances. Of those 69%, 72% of them admitted that they worry about those finances while they're on the job at work. In July of 2020, rates of depression and anxiety in the US were more than triple those in 2019. We can imagine why, right? 2020. Now, the simple question is, how are you? How are you? Asking that question, that's a minefield, right? You ask that question to somebody, and there's a lot of different possible situations. So going into what we're learning about, what we're hearing about in these transformation stories, keep all of that information in mind. They're heavy statistics. But today, right now, we're going to share another story, a huge story. And today, probably today, it's actually a milestone. Well, I'm going to let her tell you a little bit more about it. This is Lindsay, and listen to her story.
Thank you, Russ. Thank you so much for having me. Hi, everybody. I'm Lindsay Christiansen, and I just wanted to share a little bit about my story and where I've been. Prior to OPTAVIA, I was a busy mama spinning a lot of plates. You know, my husband has a stressful job. We've got 4 kids running every which direction with school and sports and all the things. I work a corporate job myself that was extremely busy, and I was running on fumes. I was exhausted. I was tired. I was worn out. I was cramming myself into pants that were way too tight. I was shoving food into my mouth that was totally not good for me. And I was faking it till I could make it literally all the time. I was overweight, exhausted, and just depleted. In April 2020, in one of the most chaotic and stressful times, I think, in all of our lives, I said yes to OPTAVIA and I welcomed it into my life. And while I didn't know a whole lot about it, to be quite honest, I had been watching my friend Chelsea Scarce on Facebook transform before my eyes for probably 5.5 years. I was secretly stalking her, you could say, before I finally said yes and made that call to her. But I knew that I was emotionally out of control. My whole world around me was out of control. I desperately needed community. I think I cried that to her during my health assessment, how much I needed that. And I knew that I could not do it on my own. And so I signed up, and I literally thought I was signing up for a diet that I hoped and prayed and fingers crossed and all the things would work. I hoped it would work. And so boy, did it work, because today I'm sitting in front of you guys 99 pounds down, like, whoa, 99 pounds. And actually, I didn't even get on the scale this morning to see if it hit the 100-pound, because tomorrow's my weigh-in day with my coach, and I didn't want to, mess up any of that juju there. So, but 99 pounds, and I am literally inches from going over that 100-pound down mark and hitting the bullseye, man, right on the goal weight. I am so excited. And obviously the outside of my life has dramatically changed physically, but the biggest change that's happened for me is what's happened on the inside, the deep, hard work that I've done, digging into my life book, setting up new strategies and ways to overcome when life throws us curveballs, because man, life is throwing curveballs all the time. And now that I'm strong and confident in those areas, the outside is matching the inside. And when people see me, it's in alignment. It's totally in aligned. And I am like on fire for this. And it's interesting because as the months were going by and I was dropping the weight, I knew that Tracy had shared with me a gift. I knew she shared a gift, and I knew I needed to pass it along, but I wasn't quite sure how to do it. And then one day Tracy and Russ called and they said, hey, we want you to partner with us and become a health coach yourself. And I was instantly thinking in my mind, like, you're crazy, right? Like, you're the coach. I can't do this. But you know what? It didn't take long. And I said, yes. I need to share this gift. I need to pay it forward. And I want to reach as many people as I can, because I want them to also experience this plan. And so I said yes to becoming a health coach. And in just like my own weight loss journey, the coaching life has radically changed my life. The roof has blown off our house, you could say. It is so exciting and so fulfilling to know that I'm getting to help change lives. I'm getting to help change homes. I'm getting to help change families, all from sharing this amazing gift of OPTAVIA with them. And in return, my own home, my own family has been radically blessed. And some days, you guys, it is absolutely crazy because I'm spinning all the plates and now I'm spinning a little bit more, but I'm in an alignment so I can handle it better. When I go to bed at night and when I look up, I say, yes. It is all worth it. It is all worth it because I get to help change lives. I get to help change homes, and I get to help change people, change their families and the direction in which it's going, all from receiving this amazing gift of OPTAVIA that I'm sharing with them. And so just like my goal weight, that it's boom, right there, about ready to hit that target, I am so excited to say I am boom, right there, ready to walk away from my corporate 9-to-5 job, the job that pays me very well, the job that gives me a lot of perks, but I get to walk away with no fear, no doubt, no hesitation, and to know that I'm going to walk into a life of fully living freedom in so many areas simply because I've received an amazing gift through OPTAVIA, and now I'm health coaching with others. And so tonight I want to say thank you. Thank you to Tracy and Russ for saying yes all those years ago. Thank you for asking me to partner with them. But more importantly, I say thank you to OPTAVIA. Thank you to Dr. A for allowing me to be awakened, for allowing me to see all the possibilities that I have. And now I get to go into the rest of my life fully living a life of serving and following a passion to helping others and helping them also find their freedom through this amazing gift of OPTAVIA. And I will never, ever, ever stop sharing it. And I hope all of you also get to experience and receive this amazing gift. Thank you.
Wow. Got me over here crying, girl. Oh. Wow, such an amazing, amazing story of transformation, not only physically, but the mental transformation that's come along with it. It's absolutely incredible. And it's been such a blessing to be able to run alongside of you and watch it all. The basis to that transformation is OPTAVIA. Here we have Dr. A, and he's created a program that's been able to give that gift to people like Lindsay. And it's amazing. And for those of you who are joining us tonight at the, suggestion of a friend that said, hey, maybe you should go check this out, or this is what I do. And you're just here tonight to just watch and hear and see. To tell you a little bit more about what we do, OPTAVIA, we are a company that's committed to providing solutions for creating optimal health. It's a mouthful, but that's in a nutshell what we're here to do. Create solutions to get you to optimal health. Now, the number is climbing dramatically, and it's rapidly climbing, that there's well over 30,000, 30,000 independent OPTAVIA certified coaches, or OPTAVIA coaches and health professionals, actually. The co-founder, Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson. Gosh, I love that guy. He's an incredible man with a heart of gold, and he's here to further the health of the world. He's a New York Times best-selling author, critical care physician. You name, he's done it. And he's a very intelligent man who's putting together a program that has a mission that's to offer the world a lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. Now, OPTAVIA is a portion of the parent company Medifast. Now, the clinically proven plans and products were developed by physicians, dietitians, scientists, and have been used by more than 1.5 million clients and recommended by thousands of healthcare professionals. It says a lot about what we have to offer. It's an American company. We own our own research and development, manufacturing, and warehousing facilities. Strong corporate and field leadership, New York Stock Exchange company, financially solid. Gives you a quick understanding of who OPTAVIA is. But what is OPTAVIA? OPTAVIA it's an amazing program. Some people, when they first started, like when I first started, I looked at it and said, wow, this is another one of those diets. But little did I know how incredible this program is. It's based on 4 components. These 4 components, we have a coach, okay? That coach in any situation might be the person that directed you to come check out this call, or can be a personal friend that's coaching right now, and they're bringing you towards this program. Step number 1, pillar number 1. Second pillar is the education, okay? This education is Dr. A. He's written The Habits of Health and Your Life book to help guide you through this process, to help educate you, so that when you stop the program, the 5-in-1 program, whatever it may be that's brought to you, when you stop, you're less likely to go back to your old habits because you've been educated and you fully understand how nutrition and health works. But also too, one of the greatest things about this is the community. The community is an immense group of like-minded individuals that are seeking out that long-lasting health. And they're there to help hold you accountable, to cheer you on, to be your cheering section over there that's saying, go for it, do it, you can do it, don't do that, helping you get through the program. And last but not least, and I say last but not least because it is important, but I would have to say for me personally, the other three components are more important, but the fuelings, they're everything that you need and nothing that you don't. They are macro balanced. They have all the carbs, sugars, protein, all of that you need to put you in to a great state of fat burn and get you going through the 5-in-1 program, 3-in-3, 4-in-2, whatever it may be with OPTAVIA. These fuelings are designed specifically for that. Now, again, like I had said before, a diet, that's what I thought I was entering into. But man, it was so much more, so much more. This was a program that had 3 different facets in which I was going to grab, okay? The trilogy of optimal health. Now, we're looking for healthy body, but we're also looking for a healthy mind. And in just a second, we'll talk a little bit about this. If you decided to become a coach, the healthy finances portion of it slides in. We want this to be a full trilogy to where you fully understand that your growth process from where you are today can drastically change. Something that I wanted to say that was a quote from a book that I'm reading right now. It's called Atomic Habits, James Clear. Go check it out. A small change in your daily habits can determine the difference in who you are today and who you can be. A small change can determine that. So as we talk about this, you know, the benefits of becoming a coach, it's pretty incredible. So we talked about healthy mind, healthy body. When you look at the healthy finances portion of this, it can come from becoming a coach. It also reinforces your decision to become healthy. You know, if you think about it, if you say, I'm going to become healthy and I'm going to do this program, you don't have to know all the details. We'll help you through that process. But what's great about it is you're an accountability partner for yourself, and everybody else is watching you, which is going to hold you accountable. You're paying it forward to help make a difference. You know, you see the excitement when you look in the mirror or at the scale or whatever that non-scale victory is, you get excited. You can pass that on. It's also fun. It's rewarding to help people through this process, to hear the stories like Lindsay and Amanda, to know that you had a hand in that. That's rewarding. But then the compensation, the compensation for helping people get healthy it's immense. It's incredible that you can actually be compensated for the level of love and help that you give somebody. Talk to somebody about that. I highly encourage you to. You know, the currency of goodwill is helping people fulfill financial needs and goals. But once you do this, you're now on the beginning of leaving a legacy. It's pretty incredible. And as a coach, there's 3 different steps. It's really quick. It's really easy. You go through this process, and it's not like you need to be a rocket scientist. It's teach as you go. You're learning as you need to know. OPTAVIA coach, that's where you're going to start, you know, and then you work into becoming a business coach. Now you're not just supporting clients, you're helping bring coaches on. And then you become a business leader where you're helping clients, you're helping coaches, and you're helping other business leaders. It's through a process. Now, through this process, you learn and you get to help people. 2 individuals that have done that amazingly and helped thousands of people in this process is a couple that I'd like to introduce right now. They have a story they'd like to share with you. And I've known these individuals for quite some time, and it's awesome to see the change that they've made in so many lives. This is Chelsea and Johnny Pagnini.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for the intro, Russ. Thank you so much. What an amazing Zoom this has been so far. So hi, everybody. I'm Johnny, and this is my wife, Chelsea. And I'm going to start off by telling you about how we ended up as OPTAVIA coaches. And we recently actually just hit our 4-year anniversary. So we're 4-year health coaches now, which is pretty awesome. So a little bit about me. I spent most of my 20s and 30s building custom motorcycles. And my wife has been basically a freelance makeup artist for 20 something years as well. And, for the most part, we were always just kind of making enough money through our 20s and 30s to just kind of get by, to pay the bills with really nothing left over. And in 2008, 2009, we really struggled. And we struggled from 2009 after the market crashed until to about 2015 when I actually sold my business. And then when that happened, the company I actually sold to, they went out of business and stopped paying me. So when that happened, we really struggled. I lost my business. We lost our home. We immediately went to credit cards to pay for food and bills. We were basically living off about $100 per week. That's what we were budgeting to buy food for our family, the four of us. I considered going on food stamps for a period of time. My pride was the only thing that stopped me from doing that. We spent our holidays entering contests to pay for meals, and our gifts for like anniversaries were basically a white piece of paper. I love you, babe, because we had no money for presents. And we were basically taking every job that we could to make money. And for my wife as a freelance makeup artist, that basically means Saturdays and Sundays were tied up with weddings. And then one day my wife came home from Sam's and she said, "Hey, I ran into Tracy at Sam's grocery store and we were crying and talking about coaching in the freezer section." And I'm like, "Oh, that's kind of weird, but okay." Yeah.
So the thing is, I had been watching Tracy Scarce, lose weight, and I was watching her, lose weight steadily, and watched her for about 1 year. So as she was losing, I was gaining weight, and it wasn't just the weight loss that I saw change. I saw that their life was changing, their lifestyle. I saw them traveling a lot more. And I had run into them a couple of times because our children went to school. So we've known them, for quite a while. And I just saw them just so much happier and just filled with joy. And so when I ran into her at Sam's, I kind of told her about our financial struggle a little bit. And she mentioned coaching to me. And I looked at her, and I didn't say this out loud, but I was thinking it. I'm like, that's really weird. I'm not even healthy myself, but okay, thank you. But she prayed with me right at Sam's. And when I left that grocery store, I remember just praying about it, talking to my husband, and I just felt this tug on my heart. And I just knew I had a goal to lose weight. I had a need to lose some weight. And there was a huge financial need for our family. And so I figured, what do we have to lose?
Yeah. And at that point, I mean, things like family vacations, totally out of the question. Date nights, there was no money for that. New cars, absolutely, that's not happening. So again, like for me, I was also really skeptical, but I figured, what the heck, we need to do something because what we're doing it isn't working.
Yeah. And so I started coaching. It was about 4 years this month. And I hit the ground running. I saw the opportunity right away. And so I actually purchased my coach kit the first week on program. I was one of those crazy ones, but it worked great for me. I lost on the unwanted weight. I lost about 25 pounds, and my husband joined shortly after, once he saw that it was working and there was other guys doing it. Yeah. And, our original goal was just to pay for our food and to pay for another bill. And so we quickly did that very, very quickly, and it just kept growing. I will tell you that I got absolutely obsessed with coaching. I got obsessed with the trainings, the community. I was loving that I was able to work from home with my kids. I can drop them off and pick them up from school. I was able to work from anywhere. I didn't have to go and do weddings on the weekends. I was able to be present with them. So you guys, this has just been an incredible blessing to be a part of this business financially, but it's also been just unbelievably rewarding to help others just see them change their life. So we have grown in every aspect of our life. Tracy and Russ will tell you our lives look so much different mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, have just completely changed. And we're so incredibly grateful for OPTAVIA for giving us this new life. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Man, it's really incredible to see just the like you were saying, Chelsea, when you saw us, there was a little bit more joy. They were happy. you can see that in the two of you. You can see that joy and happiness radiating from you guys. It's awesome, and it's again a blessing to run beside you guys. Now, for the rest of you that are out there wondering about what this coaching thing is, it's I'm going to just run through this real quick, but it's a relational model. You as an individual would be self-employed and independent, full, part-time, however you want to do it, whatever type of business you want to grow. Low startup operating costs, no inventory. You're not having to pay for things and hold it. And you can work from anywhere. Flexible business for busy people. Complete training support. It's all there for you. I encourage you, reach out to the individual that sent you to this. Talk with them. It is something that you can learn as you go. You'll work with a mentorship team, a mentor, business coach. We use team coaching so that we can make sure that you're fully covered at all times and you work at your own pace. Something that you can definitely share with other people, family, friends, coworkers. There's a lot of people out there that are just waiting on the other side of your yes. They're waiting for you to say yes to become a coach so that they can get healthy. Think about that tonight as we exit this call. Thank you everybody for joining us as we're hearing these stories of transformation. But as we do go, those of you who aren't a coach yet, I encourage you to reach out to the person that sent you this and talk to them, explore the option. You guys have an amazing night. Be blessed, have fun, go change the world.
At OPTAVIA, our mission is to offer the world lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. The prior audio contained the personal testimonials of independent coaches and clients within the OPTAVIA community. Their results are based on the unique experiences of their journey. We cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. We hope those stories inspire you to continue your journey with or to consider joining OPTAVIA. But please note that they have not been verified and your individual journey to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you speak with a healthcare provider in the US or a doctor in Singapore and Hong Kong prior to beginning your journey with OPTAVIA. Additionally, this audio may have contained income or earning representations of some independent OPTAVIA coaches. We cannot guarantee financial success. Success with OPTAVIA is derived from successful sales efforts, which require hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. OPTAVIA acknowledges that this audio may be accessible to OPTAVIA coaches in the US, Hong Kong, and Singapore. For independent OPTAVIA coaches operating in the US, please see the OPTAVIA Income Disclosure Statement for statistics on actual earnings of U.S. coaches under the U.S. Compensation Plan. Please note that the Income Disclosure Statement only applies to independent OPTAVIA coaches operating in the U.S. under the U.S. Compensation Plan and does not in any way constitute any representations as to actual or potential accrual of benefits for Hong Kong or Singapore coaches under the International Compensation Plan. Yours in health, the OPTAVIA team.